Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew, but my real name is Eric, and welcome to another Chewy Mew review, where in the previous review we took a look at the Spectacular Spider-Man figure released by Toy Biz, and I just remembered I forgot to show the bottom of the foot, which this foot over here, which actually, I think my dog chewed on it, the foot's kind of funky there. It says made in China, because, you know, everything's made in China, and the other foot says, I think 2008 Marvel, and then the bottom 2008 Hasbro, which it's hard to see. But either way, took a look at this guy. I had a lot of fun with this as a kid. This figure has so much wear and tear, similar to that of the first Spider-Man figure I ever had, which this guy right here. I love this figure so much as a kid. I love this one so much too. I love this guy because all the posability, all the fun, and obviously being my first, magnets and sculpting and everything just about was awesome. And I absolutely loved this figure too because it was just felt like a toy, like just, you know, so simple, very simple articulation, but it's not meant to be like, you know, that figure. It's not meant to be a super crazy articulated superposable figure. It's meant to just be a toy that a kid can just enjoy and then, you know, like keep and have, you know? So this guy's awesome. Talked about him in the previous review. Go check that one out. I'll probably put a link in the description to the playlist of all my reviews. And yeah, let's put them aside. And today we're going to be taking a look at Black Suit Spider-Man, or Spectacular Spider-Man in the Black Suit, or Symbiote, whatever you want to call him. So this guy has technically has more wear and tear than this guy here. And the thing is, which I also appreciate, something Hasbro did in the earlier days when they were doing it, but they're not doing it so much now, is these two figures, they could have very easily just taken this Spider-Man, paint on black, paint the spider on, do stuff like that, maybe change a head and stuff. But no, they actually made two different figures for these guys. And they even gave him more articulation, which we'll get into. I'm trying to stand him up straight. But even though they're not standing completely straight, Black Suit Spider-Man, put him behind, is slightly taller than classic Red Suit Spider-Man, or I guess Spectacular Spider-Man, because it's technically not classic. But this figure looks awesome, has some wear and tear on the face here. Focus. And then on the other eye, the spider doesn't have too much damage to it. It does look kind of like there's some scratching on it and stuff. The spider on the back has some more scratching, so paint's missing. So you can see the butt there, the legs, like the pelvis here, on the legs here, has some like white dirtiness on it. That's because the figure, when I was playing with it in the backyard, I think I had a tree fort. The head pop off. The head's actually broken. The ball joint broke on this. Like, what happened to this guy? My friends and I, we were playing on a tree fort. It was like a tree fort we had in the backyard. It was pretty high up in the air. And this guy, we were playing with it, and he fell off. And then also, like, there was like a flag thing that we had on the tree fort. It fell off too. It fell off with this figure, and like the figure was falling, and then the thing went like pow right on top of him. And it broke like the pelvis area, and eventually it broke that off too. When I went to go get the figure, it was already damaged like that. So if we put his arms out of the way, you can actually see here where there's like more glue where it was super glued back together. And then on the other side here on the bottom of the legs too, I super glued it back, and I'm probably gonna go eventually and paint this guy again. I might have him on display, but I might go back and paint him, make him look better. Oops, fell over. Also, this hand here, originally he just had two hands like this, like two open palms like that. But this fist here is actually, I don't know which figure this is from, but this is from another figure, and like a modern Marvel Legends figure, where I just took the fist, because he also lost the hand, where I took the fist, I drilled a little hole into his wrist, and I stuck the fist on, that way he can have a fist on. And then the legs here, this guy had so much damage, he went through quite a lot. The legs also here, you notice they have like slits on them. That's because I don't know how it happened, but somehow the legs here broke. I think what happened was I left it in the backyard or something. Something happened to this guy where I don't even remember. Like, I left him in the backyard, and I think it was hot, and the figure was getting kind of gooey. And I think I picked him up really fast, and it just fell apart or something like that. I don't remember what specifically, but something happened to this poor guy. But I had a lot of fun with this as a kid. When I got this figure, like I talked about in this review, when I reviewed this guy, I had a lot of fun playing with this. When the cartoon came out, I wasn't able to see it because I didn't have cable, so the only way I could see it was like the Redbox video stores when those guys were around, RIP video stores, and you know, buying them at like Walmart or Toys R Us, wherever I could buy the DVDs, and I actually have all the volumes. I don't know where they are right now, but I own the whole Spectacular Spider-Man collection, season 1 and 2. And yeah, I love the cartoon. And I actually got this figure, and I think I got both of these the same day, or I got them around the same time. And I was like, "Ooh, these figures are so cool! La 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 la!" Like they're a lot of fun. I guess that's how I was as a kid. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with these two. This guy, I got him first. I think I got both of these, and I took him out of the packaging. And then like a couple days later, I was like, "Okay, it's time for the black suit to come on." And yeah, this guy just went through so much wear and tear. But I had so much fun with this. These two basically became my default Spider-Man toys for a while. Like, always my default Spider-Man for the longest time playing as a kid was this guy. But when I got these two, I just was like, okay, buddy, I'm going to give you a rest, and I'm going to play with these two, which that's what I did. My friends, and I told my friends when we were playing Spider-Man toys one time, I was like, hey, I got these two new Spectacular Spider-Man figures. Let's play with these guys. Let's only play with these guys. Like, let's use them as Spider-Man. They were like, all right, man, that sounds cool. And so we did. Put them aside. But yeah, a lot of fun with this figure. Love this figure. Awesome figure. I definitely think, even though these don't have much articulation or really much like sculpt to them, really. I mean, they do have sculpt, but it's, you know, very simple, very stylized, just like the show. Like, it almost, to me, like, it almost looked kind of like anime. Like, the kind of big eyes look a little bit anime, kind of lanky. But even though it doesn't have a lot of articulation, this is a toy. Like, this isn't made to be like, you know, some grown man is gonna buy this to like add to his Spider-Man collection. It's meant for like, you know, little like 8, 9, 10, like a young kid to like buy it and just like have Black Spider-Man and be able to super crazy posable. And these were like $10. Hasbro wasn't doing Marvel Legends yet. They were doing just like regular Spider-Man toys and stuff. They're trying to do what Hasbro was doing, except they didn't have Marvel Legends yet. But this guy, this is just like a good Spider-Man toy, not crazy articulation. Like, a collector wouldn't be able to like display this in his office like a super crazy posable. It would just look like a kid's toy. Compared that to like, don't know where my black suit Spider-Man is right now, but compare that to like a modern day black suit Spider-Man where it's like, oh dude, that looks awesome. This is just like, you know, a kid's toy to like bring outside to play with his friends kind of thing, which that's why I love it. And also I was little when I got it, so I'm kind of biased. But either way, let's take a look at his articulation. So he had a ball-jointed head, which used to be able to move all around like this, but unfortunately, the head joint broke. I wanted to super glue that back together, but I don't know what happened to that part. He has a stay on their head, a mid-torso ball joint here, which it's not too good. Doesn't go back forward or back too much. Like, yeah, as far as like posing this guy, you can't really pose him too much. But then again, a little kid's not going to really pose his toys. When a kid's done playing, you're just going to, like, you know, throw him there, and then when he comes back, he'll just pick it up again. Not like me, where I'm going to just, like, you know, have him posed on a shelf all the time. I don't play with them anymore, because I'm too old for that. Like, I just can't, you know? Once you get old enough, playing with toys just isn't fun anymore. I wish I could, because some of these figures are awesome, but nope. This review's getting really long. Let's continue on with the articulation. His arms rotate all the way around. They don't go all the way up, but they go up pretty high, almost to like a Y position. He has a single bend in the elbow, which, again, not too bad. Rotation in the hand, actually, because I put this other arm on, it rotates all the way around. It bends in, and it bends out. His rotation here in the waist, and this figure, just like the other one, has funky articulation. Also, I put glue dots here. I put them a little bit ago because the legs were so crazy loose they would almost fall out because the way this broke. The legs, they kick out. He can't do the splits because they have this like this little plastic thing that goes over top. Compare that to his leg, where this leg doesn't have any plastic, so it can go all the way up. His has this little plastic right there where you can't go all the way up. You can rotate all the way around. And it has a joint where you have to twist the leg to get it to kick. This leg's really tight. And this leg, the joint's kind of almost breaking. He has a double bend in the knee, which, again, double bend in the knee, that's an improvement from the other Spider-Man where they didn't give him a bend in the knee. And then he has the ankle bend. The ankle pivot, I think it's called. Like, whereas this guy, so they did add more articulation to this figure, where this guy, the ball joint head wasn't as good as this guy. The ball joint head was much better on him. The shoulders, the torso was good. He does have more range of motion in the torso than he does. They added the waist swivel. They added double jointed knees. They added the rotation of the hands. And they added the ankle pivot, which this guy had it. That'd be awesome, but he doesn't. But yeah, well, you know, even as a little kid, I always thought that was smart that they did. Like this guy, it's regular classic Spider-Man. It's awesome looking. It's really fun. But he doesn't have a lot of articulation, but you don't notice that. And then you get the black Spider-Man figure, and you're like, hey, the head ball joint, the head moves a lot more, the torso moves more. Oh, you can even spin him around here. His knees bend more backwards. His foot bends. His hands rotate. And then you're like, wait, this guy's more articulation. He's more fun than this guy. I'm just going to play with this guy from now on. You know, I don't think they meant to do that on purpose, but to me as a kid, it felt like, hey, black suit Spider-Man's supposed to be better than red suit Spider-Man. Which I don't think they intended it like that, but to me as a kid, I always thought that. Because, you know, the whole thing with black suit Spider-Man is that he gives up his morale in exchange for all the power and all the abilities. But then it's like, hey, if you have all this crazy articulation, but do you really need it? You really need that when this figure is just good enough? That's a very crazy, like, meta thing. But either way, hope you enjoyed this video. Put him aside because it's not his review. It's black suit Spider-Man time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think about this guy. Leave a like if you'd like this video. Let me know what you think about this black suit Spider-Man. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know what you think about the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. And I will see you guys in the next video. Wow.